Hey y'all, my name's Kirsten. I'm here with Adventure Programs, and today I'm going to teach you a little bit about how to identify plants in your backyard. I thought it would be relevant to choose a plant that I actually didn't know the name of, that I've been looking at in my backyard. It's gorgeous, and for my own sake and for your sakes, I thought it would be a good idea to show you an authentic identification experience. Ideally, you want to identify a plant when it's still flowering or fruiting, because those are the most identifiable parts of most plants. I'm going to cover 3 common ways that I am able to identify plants that will hopefully help you in your plant identifying journey. We're going to start off using the most basic identification terms that most people would know. When you look at this plant, you can see the pale blue petals. You can see how hairy the plant is. You can see those beautiful pink buds. You can also see the roots instead of bulbs that indicate it's an annual plant. I typically start by typing those search terms into Google and then clicking on the Images tab, and then just keep scrolling until you either find the plant you're looking for, or if you get all the way to the bottom of the Google page, you can go back up into the search tab and change up your wording. As you can see, I did enter some of these terms into Google, and there's a lot of blue plants by those descriptions. So I tried out a couple different descriptions, adding words here, taking out words there. The pink bud was the key to actually finding an image of the this plant, although it still was pretty far down the list, unfortunately. But yeah, if you look here, it actually came up with a plant that looked just like it, and I searched up that name, Forget-Me-Not, scientific name Myosotis. And every plant that came up on Google Images looked just like our plant that we're looking at here in my backyard. So that worked. Pretty exciting. The second and least recommendable option for plant identification searches is using online plant search engines such as like iNaturalist, Calflora, things like that. I have to say, I very, very rarely have luck with these websites. Yeah, in this case, in only one of these websites did I find a plant called Myosotis, and it didn't look anything like our plant. It was kind of pale white flowers instead of the blue and that we have here. The third and final identification method that is a little bit more difficult but honestly has a lot better results is using scientific language, like real botany terms, to describe your plant when you type it into Google. You'll notice that most people that are writing about plants know a good deal about them. So I would recommend looking up different leaf types and flower types and plant parts, and comparing it to what you see in your plant. And, in the end, when you type that into Google, your searches are much more lucrative. As you can see, I used more descriptive terms, although I still used the pale blue flower. I also included the leaf type, entire leaf, 5 sepals, and 5 petals in the search, and it came up with results much faster than the other 2 methods of identification. I typed in raised 5 white appendages, 5 yellow fornices, pale blue flower. This brought up results in the second line of Google Images, so as you can see, much faster. This next search, I got even fancier. 5 blue petals, 5 white appendages, 5 yellow fornices. This came up with a lot of results quickly. And the final search was the most complicated. 5 pale blue petals, 5 green sepals, 5 white appendages, entire leaves. And would you look at that, the first line of Google has 4 different references to our Forget-Me-Not. And so there you have it. The best way to identify plants is using scientific botany terms. Thanks so much for listening.